everywhere you look, no matter where you look online, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, wherever you guys are, TikTok, everywhere you look online, people are already asking the question, is CM Punk going to end up in WWE? I'm not going to sit here and tell you the answer is no. There's always a possibility of shit happening. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior ended up back in WWE. Hulk Hogan ended up back in WWE. Bret Hart ended up back in WWE after what he went through with the Montreal Screwjob and Vince McMahon. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not going to happen, because we've said that time and time and time again, and they always end up back where they feel like they belong, and that is the WWE. No matter what the relationship was with Triple H or Vince McMahon, they always end up back in WWE. I don't think it's going to happen. But Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has a pretty interesting article up on Fightful Select. And CM Punk was open to going back to WWE in December of 2022. Now, how is that a possibility in December of 2022 when the man is still obviously rehabilitating from a torn triceps that he suffered in a match with Jon Moxley at All Out that year? And he, obviously, at this point, is still under AEW contract. There was no word of Tony Khan letting him go. There was no discussion of Tony Khan releasing him from his AEW contract at all, anywhere. Why would Tony Khan do that? Why would Tony Khan want to do that? Tony Khan, if anything, at that point, wanted to keep CM Punk on board because he knew the value CM Punk brought to AEW. CM Punk was going to factor into a lot of different things. I'm sure Tony Khan had long-term visions for CM Punk and MJF. I'm sure Tony Khan always wanted another show that was going to revolve around CM Punk. CM Punk bringing AEW more money in TV rights negotiations. There's so much that Tony Khan needed CM Punk for. I'm sure Tony Khan had a long plan to get into Wembley. CM Punk was going to be a part of that. There was no way CM Punk was going to be let go from AEW, unless the narrative that Jesse and I have thrown out there, unless CM Punk wanted to get fired from AEW. He said last year at the Scrum that he hates this place and that he works amongst children and the EVPs aren't talented enough to run a fucking Target. So did he really want to get himself fired from AEW? Contract tampering? Going against the foundations of his contract to go negotiate with WWE, throw it out there that he wants to be back in WWE? I mean, it's not that ridiculous to think about. Fightful says this in regards to Punk wanting back in. Those close to Punk claim that around December 2022, Punk was open to leaving AEW and even encouraged the idea so he could make a return. Specifically, Fightful heard that he wanted to appear at the 2023 Royal Rumble. However, they have not heard any traction at all to WWE having any interest in such a thing, or that AEW were actually entertaining the idea of giving Punk his release at that point. Punk was never getting his release. WWE might have entertained the idea because of several different reasons, which I'll get into in a second, but I don't think Tony Khan was ever going to let him go from his AEW contract. One of the rumored ideas that Punk had, this man was already booking himself creatively back into the WWE while he was under AEW contract. Tony Khan has released others for the same thing in the past. So he's already booking himself with WWE talent. Now, this is not confirmed with him or his camp. Actually, this rumor made its way back to some talent in WWE. The idea was that Punk would return at the 2023 Royal Rumble and work a match at WrestleMania against the person who would eliminate him in the Royal Rumble. Word within WWE was that Kevin Owens was the name being thrown around. He'd go on, Kevin Owens, to main event WrestleMania and win the tag team championships with his best friend Sami Zayn against the Usos in one of the best main events that WWE's put on in WrestleMania history, and it concluded some of the best storytelling in WWE history. So Kevin Owens probably said, thank Christ this guy didn't get to WWE, not like it would have happened anyway, but I think Kevin Owens was basically right where he needed to be. So we didn't need to get CM Punk involved to muddy up that storytelling. Kevin Owens was just fine. There was one source who indicated Owens was not a part of the pitch, but that name did make it back to several in the WWE locker room. Now, I know there was a story earlier this year where CM Punk actually showed up to a Raw in Chicago. I don't know where they were in Chicago. The WWE were for Monday Night Raw. Apparently, he was there and he got thrown out. He tried to make his way and get his way into the locker room. He wanted to talk to The Miz. I think he reportedly did talk to The Miz. He wanted to talk to Triple H. I believe he got word with Triple H for 90 seconds, and then word got back to Vince McMahon, and they kicked him out of the fucking building. But if you guys remember that, CM Punk told The Miz several years ago to go suck a blood money-covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you fucking dork, he tells The Miz, because The Miz was on WWE backstage at one point, and Miz said something along the lines of, oh, excuse me, I didn't change the culture, kind of insinuating some negativity towards CM Punk. But he wanted to talk to The Miz. He wanted to talk to a couple people he knew there, Kofi Kingston and Triple H and whatnot. Why was he there? That made the rounds, and that made the news feeds as a big deal. People are looking at that as a possible CM Punk trying to reconcile with the WWE. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that CM Punk is not going to end up back in the WWE. A small part of me actually wants him to go back to the WWE because a small part of me loves the fucking chaos that we're seeing. A small part of me wants to see it because it would make a lot of people cry. And it would end up being one of the bigger stories in the history of pro wrestling. CM Punk going back to the company that he fucking absolutely buried for the last decade. I mean, I'd love to see it. Plus, it's more money in my pocket and more content for me to create. And it's going to bring more buzz to the WWE product, which in turn is going to help us all out on YouTube. So I don't really have any reservations towards that myself. I think I'd like to see it happen. But do I think it's going to happen? Realistically, let me level with you. I don't think it's going to happen. Does that locker room really want to do business with somebody that has conducted himself in this manner in the AEW locker room? Is CM Punk going to come back and be one for the business? Is he going to help put over younger talent? This is what he was brought in for AEW to do. You think he's going to do that for WWE? Now, on one hand, I don't think he would ever get away with what he did in AEW back in the WWE. It's up to them to allow him back. Is he going to be on his best behavior, or is he going to find something wrong and then get butthurt and get in his feelings and then cause a fucking problem backstage? He'll be out the door before he could even fucking breathe. But it's not up to the McMahon family anymore. It's not up to the locker room anymore. It's going to be up to Endeavor and Ari Emanuel. You see, the reports state that this month the merger will be complete and the sale will be finalized. The McMahon family owns 49% of the company, and Ari Emanuel owns 51%. So that means Ari Emanuel is going to be making all decisions moving forward. He's going to be the one signing the paychecks. He's going to be the one handing out the bonuses, and he's going to be the one bringing in the talent. Who stays, who goes. This is Ari Emanuel's job. If Ari Emanuel wants CM Punk back in the WWE, then Ari Emanuel will have CM Punk back in the WWE. It doesn't matter what Vince McMahon, Triple H, or anybody else in that locker room have to say. And do you think Ari Emanuel and Endeavor give a shit about what CM Punk did in the locker room with a bunch of ex-WWE wrestlers and AEW wrestlers? You think he cares what CM Punk did in that locker room to Jack Perry? You think Ari Emanuel gave a shit about what CM Punk did reportedly to Tony Khan? He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit at all. Look, he brought Vince McMahon back. Vince McMahon is still with the WWE. Vince McMahon was not going anywhere. Ari Emanuel would have never made the deal unless Vince McMahon was a part of the package with all the baggage that Vince McMahon brings to the table, with all the negativity that Vince McMahon brings to the Endeavor brand, knowing that the fans don't want him there. Do you think Ari Emanuel gives a shit? Ari Emanuel has made Vince McMahon just as powerful, if not more powerful, than he was when he was still in charge of the company. Vince McMahon's lost nothing. So why do you think Ari Emanuel would give a shit about CM Punk? I don't think so. And you got to understand something. You think Triple H is going to give a shit in the end? Triple H has made amends with some of the most volatile talent in WWE history. Rocky relationships have been rebuilt between Triple H and talent that were on the outs with WWE. The man brought Sting to the WWE, and Sting said for decades he would never step foot in the WWE because he was WCW for life. That happened, and Sting is now in the Hall of Fame. Sting appeared at WrestleMania. Whether you liked it or not, he wrestled at a WrestleMania. Triple H is going to be the one to broker this deal. Do you think Triple H is going to have hard feelings? Triple H will sweep that under the rug and do business, whether he likes Phil Brooks or not. Do you want to know why? Because the idea and the excitement around CM Punk on WWE television, burying Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling, Triple H would give CM Punk whatever he wants to do on WWE television, to go out there with a hot mic and say whatever the fuck he wants within the boundaries of WWE, as long as it makes AEW look terrible. Because Triple H is out for blood. Triple H is not completely in power, but Triple H will send CM Punk out there with a hot microphone, and he will say whatever the fuck he wants to say, and Triple H will sit in gorilla with a smile on his face. That is exciting to Triple H. That is the reason Triple H would bring CM Punk into WWE. It doesn't matter if the locker room wants him there or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Vince McMahon hates him. It doesn't matter if Triple H hates him. It's going to be up to Ari Emanuel and the Endeavor brand. I could see it happening just based on that alone. It's an interesting aspect. I'll tell you this right now. But I'm still disappointed in the fact that it didn't work out in AEW, because he left a lot on the table. He left a lot of money on the table. A match with MJF, Jay White, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, FTR, and Punk versus the Elite. Another match with Moxley, another match with Adam Page. Money was left on the table. I feel like we were gypped. CM Punk has mental issues. He does. Kevin Nash even said so. Kevin Nash was on his Click podcast and said CM Punk needs mental help. Kevin Nash is best friends with Triple H. You don't think Kevin Nash is already in Triple H's ear telling him this guy needs mental help? Stay away from him. If you want to get your job and do it well, stay away from this fucking guy. You don't need this guy there. Kevin Nash believes CM Punk needs mental help. He says this, and I quote, "Honest to God, I mean, this is, in all seriousness, what I take from this whole thing. He needs serious help. He needs mental help. When it becomes destructive, when there's a chance this costs you millions of dollars, and you just continue to push and push and push, they have to let him go. I'll tell you right now, man, if I would have broke in and saw some motherfucker doing that shit, I would have said, oh, if he can get away with that, then fuck, then I'm going to do it too. I just don't think Tony Khan needs to get somebody there to be a heater. He needs to bring in somebody. Vince wouldn't put up with this shit. It's disrespectful to Tony. To me, Punk is almost a bully at this point because he knows that Tony is not. That's just not in his DNA. I mean, he said to William Regal, I don't trust you. You're a fucking Triple H stooge and nothing more, and refused to shake his hand. Who doesn't appreciate and respect William Regal? The man's got mental issues. The man's got mental issues. And CM Punk got CM Punk fired with his destructive behavior and his fucking egomaniacal mentality. That's exactly what it is. It's okay to feel disappointed, but in the end, you know, what did Vince say? Brett screwed Brett. Punk screwed Punk. Thank you guys very much. Let me know what you think of this story. He's already booking himself at WrestleMania. The rumors are going around. He's going to end up back there. We're gonna hear Chicago Survivor Series. Is Punk going to show up there? Is Punk going to show up in the Royal Rumble in 2024? Is he going to have a WrestleMania match? I find it funny that he picked Kevin Owens of all the people to choose as a potential return feud, knowing that Kevin Owens is very close with the Young Bucks. I don't find that to be a coincidence. I really don't. I mean, everything has, CM Punk does everything for a reason. Everything is a reason with him. So there's got to be a reason why he chose Kevin Owens out of everybody else on that roster. Let me know what you guys think of this story, man. Do you want to see CM Punk back in the WWE? Do you genuinely think it's going to happen? Are you like me? Do you enjoy the chaos? Do you want to see the fucking IWC meltdown with Punk showing up on Monday Night Raw with a hot mic burying AEW? Like I know Triple H would love to see. Let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on today's Extra. And I will see you live tonight with my guy Andrew Baydala on TNT, Tuesday Night Titans, episode number 12, where we will have more on this CM Punk story and a lot of CM Punk talk, because we're going to hear from Andrew Baydala about what he thinks about all this. And my God, man, Drew with a hot mic on CM Punk. It's going to be one for the ages. See you guys there. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Until tonight, guys, I'll see you later.